How's everybody doing? My name's Mike from Roots K9 Training, and this is Mr. Aspen. He is about 9 weeks old. He is a boxer, and the family's only had him for about a week, and he's already, showing a little bit of excitement, doing things like, typical puppy things like nipping. They also need the dog potty trained, crate trained. And yeah, just the basic puppy stuff. He is not a super high energy dog, but at times he kind of he'll whine a little bit, bark a little bit, but then he kind of settles in, just kind of like you saw there. But the first thing I'm going to start working on him with is coming out of the crate, because I know he thinks when this door is open it's time to come out of the crate. So I've already done this just a little bit with him, not much, just to get him out one time, and I figured I need to go ahead and show everybody this. So what I'm doing is I'm actually setting up rules for the dog right now. And what I call this is just like I'm working the crate. That's what I call it. Get the dog, I'll work the crate door, I'm just kind of, what I'm doing is every time it's open, it's like that's a second open the dog's having without getting out of the crate and the door open. So they start to see that they can have the door open. And they can have the door open without coming out of the crate. And you'll actually see me shutting the door back on the dog. So I'm shutting the door on them, and I'm using this as like a, we're using it like a herder would use his cane, right? We're using it to kind of guide the dog. We're using it as a boundary where we want the dog. See how he stuck his foot through the crate? So I still use the crate door on him. I don't stop because he put his foot in there. Of course, you're not going to want to hurt the dog, but him putting his foot there, I know not to put too much pressure, but just enough to get him to move it. And so, this takes a few minutes. Some dogs it'll happen right away. Some dogs it takes much longer. But this will get the dog used to be able to not rushing right out of the crate every time the door is open. And it's very important to start doing these things when they are puppies. You do not want to let your dog get old, let them get older and they have been rushing in and out of the crate, and then you start having some other issues, and now you got to go back and get your dog used to not rushing out of the crate when the dog's 60 pounds, 70 pounds. This dog's only a few pounds right now, so it's much easier to convince them to stay in the crate until I tell them to come out. And what I'm doing, you'll notice I shut the door on him, and when I shut the door, see right now what's happening is he's avoiding me, which is normal, because he believes this isn't an option now. Okay, so now he's coming back. So you'll notice me shutting the door. Every time I'm shutting the door, he hasn't moved yet, but what's happening is I can tell his brain is already starting to think, go out. So as soon as his brain thinks that, boom, I shut the door, and I can just tell by his body language, he's, what he's fixing to bolt out of it. Right now I'm just using a leather slip lead with him for right now. See, he cannot come out. And anytime I'm getting something ready, I'm like getting this leash ready, like the door's like this, but I am ready to drop what I'm doing and start working the door. You never want to, have this in your hand and not be ready to work this door. If you're not ready to work the door, it needs to be shut like this, and then start handling this. Never leave it unlatched and think, well, I can work with it now. They're not stupid. They know it's unlatched, and they're very smart. This is their whole world. The dogs came from wolves, and they're very crafty animals, and they know how to figure things out. So I see a lot of people that will try to do stuff with the crate latched only in one spot, and the dog's gonna get out, through the other spot. But if you do this when your dog's a puppy and get them used to staying in the crate and not rushing out, and they just feel the crate is a place to relax, then you're not going to have those type of issues. And see, he's thinking. This dog's brand new to this world, and no one's ever done this with him. When he was in the home, he could pretty much come and go out of the crate as he pleased during the day. And at night they said he would just you know, lay in his crate, which is good. But when he's in my home, he won't be choosing when he goes in and out. I will actually choose that for him. See, that's good, yawning. So just because it's open doesn't mean he comes out. See? So see, we're almost there. And we gotta let him just go through it. That's it. That's what we worked this whole time for. So that's what you have to wait for, is the right moment. You have to wait for the right moment to get the dog out of the crate, and that will actually save us a lot of hassle in the future. So this is Aspen. He's the 9-week-old boxer, and we're going to be training him just in some basic obedience. So when you're working with your puppy, always take the time to do something like work the crate door. You know, don't just simply let them run in and out of the crate. Most of the time, owners are unknowingly instilling unwanted behaviors in their dog, and usually it's a mistake. But this is the type of thing you want to do with your dog when they're a puppy, because this is just like a 6-pound puppy, or what, you know, however much he weighs. You know, it's a very light dog compared to a full-grown dog. You know, it's a puppy compared to a full-grown dog, so this is much easier to manage. So if you have a puppy, make sure you train them in obedience. You know, this is very important to teach a dog when they're young what to do. Once they get older and they have more weight, they start to know that they can push people around with their weight, and they start to see people shy away from them when they jump and stuff like that. They start to feel like they have power. So we're going to do it right with Mr. Aspen, and make sure he becomes a very good follower. Sit. Good boy. Good sit.